Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is December 21st, 2023, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the U.S. markets take a dive after record highs. But first, looking at today's major economic events. So at 3:30 South African time, out of the United States, it's a final GDP, gross domestic product, quarterly number coming out for 2023, and it is important. So looking at the various markets, the major pairs pretty much unchanged when it comes to the Forex symbols as we look at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ Selloff. Now looking at commodities, gold and oil unchanged. Now when we looked at the stocks almost across the board, it was a sell-off. And lastly, in terms of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin breaks out of that wedge on the upside and pops higher. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD, it does look like it's forming a very sharp wedge formation now also, but it's really unchanged. I mean, we're making lower highs, higher lows. That wedge formation that you see right there is 109.47. Now the question is whether or not we're going to pop out to the upside or the downside. Now what I want to do to you, I want to show you how that is happening in real time when we're looking at the Bitcoin. Okay, now Bitcoin we've been looking over the past couple of days. Now we did set up this wedge formation. Now you don't see it right here, okay? But underneath that red line, okay, was a wedge formation. Higher lows, lower highs. So if you don't look at this right there, just look at it from right, you can't, there we go. It doesn't allow me to do it, but okay, but it was right there. And then finally popped up to 43,777, which shows a decent strength here. So we may push up even higher. Now going back into the Forex symbols, most of the major pairs really unchanged, okay? British pound really teetering lower. If we look at the Japanese yen, also couldn't hold and sustain that. And we followed this yesterday, and this is where it's breaking down. So this is really an important level that we're looking at, and it may test its lows at 141.50-ish level once again. So that's something encouraging there. Now looking at commodities, not much of a big change. Gold trading at 2034, pretty much unchanged for the week. And looking at crude oil, also holding on to its gains at $74 a barrel. Now looking at the U.S. stocks, take a look at this. The Dow Jones, just yesterday, over 300 to 400 points, a nosedive, okay? And it happened towards the end of the day, okay? Which is a indication right before the end of the year that we're taking some profits off the table at 37,000, almost at hitting 38,000. It just hit 38,000 and sold off. And that's to be expected. Well, it's coming to the end of the year. People want to book their profits and, for tax reasons before the end of the year. And it's an incentive, okay? So this happening is all within the framework of it. Now, the question is whether or not it's going to challenge that 38,000 once again. Now, 2023 was relatively a surprise year for the markets, okay? Because we did not think that we'd come out of it so easily. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, it did also retrace after hitting 17,000. Okay, that's the nice parity between there. Now, looking at the stocks, they were across the board, but Microsoft was softer, okay, and that one sold off a little bit more aggressively, where Facebook, not much, 349, holding on to its gains. Okay, so that's relatively still strong. Google also holding on to its gain, and it was actually the only green stock on the markets. It actually gapped up, held up, yeah, and didn't close the gap within that trading frame, but it was one of the only green stocks on the market. Now, lastly, looking at Amazon, and this is really important because we are getting into a major time period of the year. Okay, consumer confidence is at a high, and it's consumer season. Okay, now Amazon is trading close to its highs, hasn't retraced that much, so also showing some strength there. Okay, so the markets are still relatively strong. Just because people are taking money off the table does not mean it's all over. Okay, now looking at Bitcoin, that was the one. That's the wedge formation I was talking about, hitting 43,750 right now, just another 22 points lower. But it could push out higher above that 44,600. If it clears through 45, it'll go to 50. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.